Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Today we are at Super 19th. The first stage of solidification of the Super 19th will be Super 20th. In many cultures, Super 20th just to be advanced a little bit. Super 20 to give you a hint to think about. In many cultures as well as religious groups, it has been labeled as life. That's the Super 28. Life itself. They figured if they have that, then that means then they have life. Like in an environment, perhaps when it came to the space people, then in space, or when it came to the underground people, then in the underground, or in the underworld, or even I could say in the very beginning when it came to the hollow earth, the environment which is technically in the middle of it, we have the spaceship, we have the Orion starship, our human starship, our mothership or fathership. We got, in that case, we got 2 in 1. Let's get back to Super 19. So that was the hint. If I will mention more, I will mention more hints about the Super 28 when it comes to the Super 28. Let's leave the rest of the hints, the tips for next time then. So Super 19th. Super 19th is more than energy. Energy will also be one of the super foods in this case, but this kind of food has meant to be sustained in humans, only inside the humans, with the intelligence to make sure that we will not harm any other mammals or animals any other actually conscious beings who are capable of reproducing, got brains, got minds. That means planet in this frozen universe. Out there nearby, of course, there are colder places, as well as there are warmer places, depending on how close to us, how close we are to the center of the universe. Right now, again, we are in the AB zone. There is also BA zone, and there is the A zone. It's called the Orion star system, or Orion belt. Let's get back to Super 19. The reason why it's very important to mention Super 19 as well as mention all the rest of the words, because the words are relying on this quality, what the Super 19 is capable of delivering. It's capable to delivering into our human biological systems, or perhaps in many others, or even non-biological systems, then capable of remaining there, it will play a huge role. just to give you a couple of hints going into the Super 19 to make this a little bit more interesting rather than boring, because someone who really would like to share information with someone so the others can learn, practical experiences will always play the biggest role with examples in any good student's life. Any good student is actually a very good doctor or very good teacher, in this case a very good teacher also, or in my case professor, or more than a professor. But now we're talking about intellectually valued intelligence accordingly human nature. When it comes to my case, everybody has this ability, everybody has the access to this ability, but unfortunately, when it comes to having disability, not disability, then, or perhaps in a disabled world, in a completely disabled world, when the disabled are valuing each other more rather than those who are actually not disabled, that's a different story. In this case, this ability, is a disability. Okay, so, but of course, as soon as you get to the level where people are capable of appreciating what you are sharing, as well as it is life supportive, but you're sharing it in a way they would like to receive it. So it's really, really important. Now, can you really find a common ground with all human beings? Is that really possible? I would say, as a human to another human, as a human natured being to another human natured being, at least psychologically. But of course, it is better if there is a physical as well as the energetic synergy there, equally just as good. Quantity doesn't really matter in this case. Okay, so let's get back to being a good student. A good student, that's why the good student is actually a good learner, is a very good representative also to share information, to enhance other beings or things or effects. Perhaps in this case I would say well-being or well-beings, because that's when you know that you really learned something, what is actually good for you, good for everybody else, everything else as well at the same time. Simply because the environment has been organized through you, by you, with you, from you, with others. Me means we anyways, if you look at the reflection of it. Me means we means me. We are more interconnected and interlinked energetically than anything else. Especially on the human planet. Now, of course, we have alien nature carrying elements, unfortunately, yet. But again, I will make sure that I will kick him out personally back to where they came from, because they are missing from home. And since they are not home, they're making the planet think that the planet is not home, and also all the living beings and things with it also make them feel like and think about they are not home, and act and behave like we are not home. Like literally the way we are today, any normal intelligent human being would say most of the people, unfortunately, on the human planet are not at home as a human. at home as a hybrid, at home some kind of hybrid, mostly of course animal natured hybrid. We will get back to the 19 because it is all interlinked. Or as an animal, or as an alien, or as a zombie, or as a vampire means the same thing in this case. Okay, Super 19, what can it be? I help you more, here's a bigger hint. It is also now actually one of the 4 plus 1 main elements. I'm sorry, I've been robbed spiritually, so my voice isn't that good anymore. But I existed on Google. So what is very important to remember that Google means what I'm trying to say is Super 19 is one of the 5 main elements. I speak a little bit louder now because I got the air conditioning on. Got a little bit electromagnetically exhausted over here. But once the alien natured elements are back to where they are from and where they are belonging to, the planet will naturally be back at normal. We will not want to remember anything what happened like today in this world. There will be so much meaning, harm for actually what the human being is capable of experiencing in a living environment, especially our own home, planet Earth, temple. Okay, so let's get back to Super 19. Which one of the 4 plus 1 main elements is? I also got another hint. Actually, human spirits were captivated pretty much in all of the 4 plus 1 main elements already. But if you remember how in this representation I can say things which are not necessarily the best for human nature, just to deliver the proper information about this not only human nature environment or regarding to it or about it. What is really important? There was an actual human spirit captivated by utilizing one of the 4 plus main elements. Oh, I almost gave you a big hint. Okay, I give you a bigger hint. It's one of the 4 main elements. I think it's really big. I think his name was Walter. I think it was the first Walter to have one. I'm not sure about Walter, but it was a German name. And he had an artificially created house with Super 19 utilized with other ingredients. Okay, I give you a huge hint now, a bigger hint. If you know English or Latin, you will understand this. An aerosol. Aerosol ingredients. That's Super 19, ladies and gentlemen. Super 19 is air. Also, it could be, or my siblings, I could say my siblings, of course, that would be more natural, because this message, firstly, for humans, of course, the animals will get the message to energy, because energy is information. Most humans got animals in them, so that's how they do it. Like one of my good friend, naturalist who we haven't met yet in person, David Attenborough, mentioned the animal race is merely or only different technology. That's how we phrased it in his quotation. The animal race is only a different technology, or merely a different technology. That's all to it. And that's why he went to study and trying to understand all the biological, biochemical, energetic, or physiological behaviors and exchanges, and of course gases. Think about it. What you put inside of you are full of with pipes, just like me, from little tiny pipes or to the bigger ones, or the biggest ones we call the column, or the large Liechtenstein, I think, as is like by volume. Like you just see a couple of guys with bellies and guts, it can expand, right? Inside you are very expandable. Or look at mothers, look at the wombs, like look at how incredible it is that pipe technically becomes a ball, sort of like an oval shape, the womb. Now gases playing a huge role deriving all different types of biochemical exchanges with energetic physiological results, precisely, directly, purposefully fulfilling purposes, vital purposes in this case. Of course, as long as we know what we are doing, or as long as we also know what's actually happening with us, around us, for us, because of course anything that isn't really for us, I mean anything that is really for us, it is for us, or those are for us, but anything else, that is a big no-no. One of my favorite superhero man, he actually was one of my commissioner colleague, an older gentleman, already in his 80s, joined us. His name is Jürgen. There was another really amazing man, David. So the other one is Burns, I think. Incredible man. Around the 80s or above. I met also Hungarians, incredible Hungarians. They were very aware of how biochemical exchanges, especially when it came to gases, how to neutralize them, how to regulate them, how to keep them well with what, why, what will it actually cause? How will it enhance, of course, in their cases, electromagnetic abilities, perhaps in the brain. Remember, the brain is also full of canals, channels, pipes, you name it. Most of the times, as long as there is liquid, there is some sort of, most of the times there is, of course, gas is part of it, or could be a part of it, or could become a part of it, or could be a product of it. Of course, mostly, of course, it is. They are a product of each in our biological system also. When it comes to liquids as well as gases, airs, aerosols. Yes, there is energy. Yes, there is a huge difference of the pH balance. Let's turn on some goodness over here. Yeah, so let's remember everything has pH balance at momentary, like on a momentary basis, momentarily, as well as average, like generally speaking, or like an admiral, not a general, an admiral. I was kidding. So remember, please, everything has a pH balance, as well as everyone, including the facts also. And normally our goal, humans, is to have an external as well as an internal environmental condition, especially when it comes to self-care, you know. And then when we do that well, then we can care externally better as well. Also, I know we all want to care. That's a normal human thing. We all want to care. We also need to make sure that while we want to care, we do it in a way that it will help others to care, or to fulfill, or for to fulfill, or to fulfill our number one purpose, is to sustain human life, sustain human nature, sustain human nature. Human nature family here today is a huge thing, because in the air you have everything, photons, neurons, electrons, tachyons. Those are all my favorite ones. You have pretty much everyone over here these days. I mean, ever since really the Earth has been created, the planet, we were having these, but we didn't have any pollutions, because the electromagnetic field, that means all the gases were human nature friendly, all the liquids were human nature friendly, all the solids were human nature friendly, all the energy, heat energy, wind, the heat energy, as well as the protein, all pure. Because the frequency, the planet's frequency, radiation, vibration, frequency again, electromagnetic field, ether, its electricity did not have any alien nature carrying elements, and did not have any alien nature elements radiations of those, and frequencies of those. They are exactly the opposite of what actually humans need, humans have, or the Earth has, or the Orion Starship is all about, or the human nature is all about, in every way. But that's because they fulfill a very important purpose. On the furthest outskirt, mostly, or near to it, the furthest outskirt or ring of the universe, at the CD zone. Mostly that's where they came from. Through the DC and from the D, of course. But hey, some people would say it's normal, the universe does this since there are multiple universes, yeah, who knows how, what kind of conditions they have, and probably the same, and then the roof got a leak, the shingles got broken, the shingles got on a journey, the shingles got carried on its weapons to already infected beings and things. That's the truth. I speak their languages, you see. I love you. Let's turn this around. I'll make sure I'm pretty. let's see how long my hair grew. Soon I will need a comb. I already mentioned it to my mother. I know my father is always with me in every way it's possible. Hello.